Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Topics for this video. First one, Viktor Orban or Hungary smacks Germany, the foreign ministry of Germany. How? I will show you. That is, when you have balls and you respect yourself, then you act accordingly. The problem is the other side feels insulted because the other side, which is Germany in this case, thinks that it deserves somehow more respect. I will go deeper into it as I read the article ready for you. That's the first topic. The second topic is, as you probably know, Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, the ballsy Hungarian. Now he has the presidency of the European Commission, mostly a organizing task, is not a decision maker whatsoever. He's a guy who speaks in the name of a group of people who some of them are not even elected. Example is von der Leyen and Michel and others. So he visited, Viktor Orban visited Putin and spoke about Ukraine and other issues. Now, that obviously caused the anger to show up from the guys who don't want the war to stop. Because why would you be angry with someone who tries to fix something that's bad? You would, I don't know, let anyone try. Correct? Correct. Well, that's about 3 or 4 articles related to that issue. Another issue, I'm going to show you what countries are angry that Orban went to speak with Putin, and I will show you one guy who congratulates Orban for going and trying to fix things in Ukraine and talking to Putin. Can you guess who that president is? Or that prime minister, rather? Well, yeah, that's the guy. And then we have Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, being what he is, a ballsy, smart, courageous Hungarian, working for Hungarian people first. Now, let's start with the first article. Comes from Reuters. So the smackdown. How Hungary smacked Germany. And that's in quotation mark. Astonished. Germany says Hungary cancelled foreign minister meeting. So Germany is astonished that Hungary dared to cancel a meeting between the foreign ministers of Hungary and Germany. Now, who are those people? The foreign minister of Hungary is Mr. Péter Szijjártó, a fantastic foreign minister. Ballsy, smart, no problem, decent and straightforward guy. I like the guy a lot. And on the other side, in the yellow corner, why yellow? Because that reminds me of urine, is Annalena Baerbock. I would say, according to my assessment of her statements and behavior, that she is mediocre at best. Now, she is upset that this was cancelled. Now, let me put this in the context a little bit. So, if 2 countries or 2 individuals, let's say 2 individuals, schedule an appointment, but they're equal, and one of them cancels. Well, the other one is not really astonished because says, well, maybe the other party, the other side, had something else, something intervened. We're going to reschedule. If you look at the other side as an equal. Now, if you, let's say, are in a subordinate position, let's say Albania and the United States of America, obviously Albania will be always in a subordinate position, or Romania, or and if, let's say, United States of America cancels a meeting with Albanian foreign minister, Albania will not be astonished, obviously. We're going to say, oh my God, well, thank you very much for inviting me. I hope we can schedule again. That's how it goes. They will not be astonished. Now, if you are or you think you are in a master position, and the subordinate that you perceive as subordinate cancels a meeting with you, then you are astonished. You got my point? So Germany is very astonished. How dare you? How dare you? Remember that? Anyway, They're the same here. How dare the Hungarians cancel and try to reschedule a meeting with great Baerbock? That's the whole point. This arrogance for people like us coming from smaller, weaker countries, it's very insulting. Why? Because we respect ourselves. All right? And we don't think that way, like, oh, why should Germany be astonished? Well, because they think they're better. That's the whole point. And I'm glad the Hungarians, who are about what, 10 million people, with Germany, which is about what, 80 million people, right? And economic power and so on. Obviously, one is a vassal state, which is Germany, to Al Capone's, and the other one is playing for its own survival and interest. Excellent. Now, let me read you this little article, or at least just the interpretation of Reuters. Frankfurt. Hungary has cancelled the meeting for Monday in Budapest with Germany's foreign minister and her Hungarian counterpart, Mr. Peter Szijjártó. A German foreign ministry official said on Friday. The German ministry said it was astonished, end quote, and that a, quote unquote, serious and honest discussion was needed after Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban met Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday. So did you hear? So the Germans tell the Hungarians, we need to talk because you did something that we are very upset with your behavior. Last time when I heard that was when I was in school and one of the teachers or the principal got me and talked to me like that after a smackdown. Okay? And the smackdown was unidirectional. That means I got the smackdown. Okay? Okay? Okay. So that's how they talk. So we need to talk. It's needed because you dared to step out of our lockstep that we all are in on our plantation. The Hungarian foreign minister and the government spokesperson didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Why? Because if you're tough, you wait a little bit. You let them, how do you call it, simmer in their poop, all right, in their feces. That's what you wait for them. And they're going to get more upset because you don't react. And again, they will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you come and say, you bring a little pin and then the shit bubble explodes. Now, remember, astonished that a serious and honest discussion was needed after Hungarian Prime Minister and Viktor Orban, and my quotation, dared to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. Got that? Got that. All right. These guys don't understand the Hungarians are different. Ballsy. All right. Next article. We have CNN. Hungary's Prime Minister Orban, remember, these guys are not using the new, European Union Commission. No, he's the Prime Minister of Hungary. That means they try to get his importance diminished, which I think is better to be the Prime Minister of Hungary than to be a, European Union Commission President or something like that. Why? Because that means you are them over there. Well, we'll see how Orban will maneuver to all the shit in the European Union Commission, blah, 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 tra-la-la, with those Brutus surrounded, not that they were friends. Don't get me wrong. Hungary is fighting for its own interests, and that should be the first rule for each and every country. And then you help everybody else. So, in order for you to help, you need you to be well and healthy and strong. In order to help your family that you love, and I love my family more than his family, and he loves his family or should love his family more than my family, all right? Then you expand. But first, I have to take care of me. Be healthy, strong, and able and willing. Okay, so Hungary's Prime Minister Orban meets Russia's Putin in a Moscow visit condemned by Ukraine and European Union leaders. Now I will read to you I will mention who the leaders are. Unelected by the people, elected by them over there, but not by the people. Why? That's the way it works in the communist European Union. So Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban traveled to Moscow on Friday to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin, causing major outrage among his fellow European Union leaders. I would like to know how many, who exactly, but they will not say it. They will mention, I think, 1 or 2 people here. That's it. Remember, they said his fellow European Union leaders. How many from this many? This many or this many? Orban was first EU leader to visit Moscow since April 2022, and his visit was made even more controversial by the fact that Hungary has just taken over the rotating presidency of the Council of European Union. It's not a decision-making position, so relax. Putin and Orban said they discussed ways to end the conflict in Ukraine. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? And I will make a point in a second regarding that. Speaking to reporters after meeting, Putin said Russia was, quote-unquote, always open for discussions. All right, let's see who was against this guy here. Let's get some names. Okay, we have the talks with President Putin, European Commission, unelected by the European Union people, citizens, Ursula von der Leyen. She is the European Commission president. Criticized Orban's decision to visit Moscow, saying, and I'm quoting, appeasement will not stop, in quotation, Putin. And only unity and determination will pave the path to a comprehensive, just and lasting peace in Ukraine, she added. All right, Kiev was also quick to criticize Orban as well. And then we got Zelensky, and that's it. So the leaders the article tell us about, right, EU leaders, is mentioned only one, not even two, not even the garbage Michelle. It's Miss von der Leyen, Ursula. You got that? So this is how they conflate this. Now, let me give you this. Let's say that you see your child and you can't intervene. You see your child from far away being beaten by a neighbor or an unknown person, bigger, and he smacks your child. But then you saw a neighbor that you don't get along with intervening or going over there and trying to separate or stop the big guy that is beating your child from beating, is trying. And you and others say, no, stop, neighbor that I don't like. Don't do that, only I. But in the meantime, your child keeps getting a beating. Now, isn't that idiotic? It's just because you don't like the neighbor that actually is going to try to do a good thing, trying to discuss, you say no because you're the wrong guy to help my child. So do you really help your child? Or let's say you see your child, you don't know how to swim, all right? And you see your child drowning, God forbid, in a lake. And nobody jumps around, but you see the neighbor that you don't like, jumping in and trying to save the child. And you say, no, Gigi, don't. Are you going to wait for what? The helicopters coming or what? Smurd, as it's in Romania? The emergency? Your child will be cold and stiff by the time those guys show up. All right? So this is how that tells me they don't want peace. Because if you would want the fight, the beating your child gets from that guy, you wouldn't care. Even death, if death shows up to stop the fight, you would agree with that. Or, I don't want to say the other people. Nevertheless, that tells you these guys don't want that to stop. The Telegraph. Viktor Orban in Moscow for unapproved Ukraine talks with Putin. Unapproved by whom? The European Commission? Okay, he went over there as a human being. You're not approved, neighbor. I do not approve you intervening in that bidding. Again, unapproved, my friends, unapproved. Viktor Orban traveled to Moscow, talks on how to end the war in Ukraine. I think that's fantastic. Vladimir Putin greeted the Hungarian Prime Minister with a smile and a handshake, like that, as he always comes like that, Putin, saying he was keen to hear proposals for a ceasefire. Mr. Orban visited Kiev earlier in the week, but that was agreed, that was approved, okay? And a Hungarian diplomatic source told the Telegraph he would act as a go-between in Moscow. His visit probably endorsed by Volodymyr Zelensky. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be endorsed by your child. Like you say, hey child, the neighbor that we don't like, the family is going to try to get you out of that bad dude's claws. And the child says, no, don't send that. I like being pummeled. Don't send him. I mean, really? Then fuck off. Stay over there and get pummeled. No? All right, but Ukraine's foreign ministry, the decision to make this trip was made by the Hungarian side without agreement or coordination with Ukraine. It said in a statement, the only realistic way to restore a just peace remains the peace formula. So this is, again, they don't want peace over there. Next article. And I'm going to show you again how the free world, the free media, so-called, in the West, spins the truth and creates, how should I put it, narratives, and gives the right spin, right for them. As you can see, France Press. Kiev, allies slam Orban for Ukraine talks with Putin. Why? Go back to the example with your child. So let's see who the allies are. Right? Who the allies? Because Kiev allies 40 countries, 193 countries, 2 countries, or let's see who the countries are, what the countries are. And it says Kiev and its Western allies. How many are there? They just lump them together. They don't tell us the names. France, Germany, and I don't know, Kukubau. Hit out at Hungarian leader Viktor Orban on Friday after Russian president. If you don't know anything about this situation and you read this, Kiev and its Western allies, you think it's all Western allies. How many are there? I don't know, 20, 30, supposedly allies. I don't know, allies. So here it is, my friends. And it says, EU officials, we covered that with one official, von der Leyen, right? And the United States of America and NATO blasted the Hungarian Prime Minister's surprise trip. So you got European Union officials, plural, United States as a country as a whole. I did not slum that whatsoever. And then NATO, all right? But we have a guy that I mentioned at the beginning who has balls, and that is the Slovak Prime Minister, Mr. Robert Fico. The guy who was just boom boom by that guy. And he said, I would have joined you if my health was not 100% as recovered. So Slovakia's Prime Minister, this is the bad dude. Remember, so far I haven't seen a name. Let me see if I see a name in all this. Von der Leyen given. I'm looking to see how many Borrell, that's the foreign minister unelected of the European Union. He doesn't know much, but anyway. Charles Michel, remember the same guy? I have a problem with that guy. He looks very suspicious to me. He looks very Mihalish to me. So, Charles Michel, unelected. Karine Jean-Pierre, she's the spokesperson of Justice of America. She's French. And she makes about $185,000 a year as a spokesperson, a know-nothing rude mofo. But because she belongs to a few groups, approved, accredited groups, she got the job. That's my personal assessment, or let's say, how to put it, with the gut feelings. Orban visit will not advance. Karine Jean-Pierre, let's see who else. Stoltenberg, Finnish Prime Minister, Finnish is disturbish, Polish Prime Minister, and that's it. That's it. So these are the guys, the allies that they're talking about. So let's see what Mr. Fico, who is an important guy, says. Not the other ones. Those are vassals. That's what they are. They are weasels. Let's see, where is Mr. Fico? Slovakia's Prime Minister offered a rare voice of support, saying he would have joined Orban had his health permitted after surviving an assassination attempt in May. All right, next article. Ukrajinska Pravda, these guys are upset with Mr. Robert Fico. Slovak Prime Minister praises Orban's for visit to Kiev and Moscow. Great, everything for peace. And the last article, which proves us and shows us that Orban is, as I said, he is at the beginning of this video, DPA International. Orban vows to continue working for peace in Ukraine after Putin talks. Excellent. So, my friends, obviously I'm Romanian by birth, and you understand that for me, or for the Romanians who have a little thing praising Hungarian, it's it is something, but he deserves that. I have no doubt that Mr. Orban, in the interest of Hungary, and I agree with that totally, would do a lot of harm, cause a lot of harm to the neighbors in the, let's say, southeast of Hungary. I have no doubt, in the name of Hungary, that the same attitude should be employed by the Romanian leaders, like Klaus Iohannis, Romanian leader, okay? But it's not like that. Klaus Iohannis took Romania, not only him, the guys before him, took Romania's pants down, bent it over, and invited all these guys, good guys from NATO, from the European Community, Union, whatever you want to call it, to come and take turns. And you and I, if you still care for the bent over thing, then you understand exactly what I'm talking about. All right, my friends, here it is. Germany is upset because Germany thinks, as a narcissist individual, that, hey, I'm better and we're gonna come and talk to you later, honest and serious. Here is the way these guys are supposed to agree with this kind of treatment. Like Hungary, Romania, Albania, Bulgaria, all these guys should agree with being treated like as these guys are treating them. No. And supposedly they're all equal in the European Union. They all are equal. They have one vote. It's not like that. The European Union is just a union of interest, financial economic interest. That's what it is. And they got this guy together. It's like that guy wanted, I would say, Lebensstrom. Is that how you call it? Lebensstrom? Living space. That's exactly what these guys do. They accaparate countries, territories, put them into the European Union, put a little fence around it, they make certain tariffs with the guys outside, and the businesses inside the European Union and from United States of America, they own this living space. That's what it is. And then they try to get more and get it under their dominance. But hey, that guy was good, we are bad. I'm sorry, that guy was bad, we are good. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.